What if every decision you made created a new universe? Think about the last tiny choice you made. Maybe you picked up your phone instead of a book. Maybe you had coffee instead of tea. Somewhere out there, in another strand of reality, another you did the opposite. And that universe is just as real as this one. The multiverse theory suggests that each decision branches into infinite outcomes, like a tree with endless leaves. Every time you choose, you split. One version of you turns left, another turns right. One of you stays home, another catches a flight to Paris, and yet another never makes it past breakfast. At first, this sounds exciting. Infinite yous living infinite lives. In one, you're a billionaire. In another, you never got past high school. In one universe, you're married to your first crush. In another, you're living alone on a mountain writing philosophy books no one reads. Every single possibility is played out somewhere. But here's the strange part. If this is true, then the version of you watching this right now is just one thread in an ocean of stories. You're not the only you, you're just the perspective you happen to inhabit. Imagine standing at a traffic light. You're late for work. The light turns green. In this universe, you cross and make it safely. In another, you trip and break your ankle. In another, a stranger bumps into you and you fall in love with them.
In yet another, you never even left the house. Each decision is tiny, but its ripple is enormous when you think in terms of branching universes. Suddenly, there's no such thing as the wrong decision. Every choice exists somewhere. But there's a darker side. If every possible outcome is real, then somewhere there's a version of you that made the worst possible mistake. The cruel words you didn't say here, in another universe, you said them, and the relationship ended. The car crash you narrowly avoided here, in another timeline, you didn't. Even the you who gave up on everything exists out there, living a life of regret. That thought can be terrifying, yet it can also be liberating. If every possible version of you exists, then you don't have to carry the weight of perfection. The pressure to always make the right choice disappears because every path is already being explored. The you who took the job, the you who quit the job, the you who never worked at all, they're all out there. What matters is the story of this particular you, right here, right now. Let's take it further. What happens if you imagine meeting one of your other selves? Would you like them? Would you even recognize them? Picture a version of yourself who followed every dream you abandoned. They wrote the book. They started the company. They confessed their love. Standing next to them, would you feel envy or would you feel inspired? Now picture the opposite. The version of you who quit when things got hard. Who burned every bridge. Who drowned in fear instead of stepping forward. Looking at them, would you feel pity or would you realize how close you were to being them? Here's the real paradox. If every decision creates a new universe, then your choices still matter. Yes, all versions exist, but only one is yours. That means the future isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about choosing the path you'd most want to live inside. Your life becomes less about finding the perfect decision and more about asking, which story do I want to be conscious for? Out of endless branches, you're experiencing this single, fleeting thread of consciousness. It will never repeat. Because even if a billion other yous are out there, none of them are here, none of them are now, and none of them are you. And yet, there is comfort. You don't have to know or see every branch in order to live fully. This particular thread, with its joys, mistakes, and lucky accidents, gives you the chance to love, to learn, and to change here and now. Imagine that every choice is not a sentence, but an opportunity to write the next page. Act as if you're crafting the best passage of your story, even if somewhere another you is writing something completely different. Treasure the moments that matter to you. Take risks for those who inspire you. Apologize when you must, and laugh more often. Because in the end, the value isn't in the number of possible yous, but in the depth of who you are becoming right now. Write what you think about this in the comments.